Hi everybody, this is an introduction to the Brahma7 ProRes. Why ProRes? Okay, well it's a very high resolution camera. Right, so some of you hopefully will be aware, I'm assuming that's probably what you're here about, knowing about our Xiaomi Yi range, which is build your own 360 rigs. And they did fantastic 4K output. People still getting some really amazing results, and we've sold over 100 rigs. People build them themselves. What we've done now is we're moving over to a new camera. Let me just give you some information here. I keep deleting this because I've done a few here. There's another video which I can put a link, which there's oh, okay. Oh, here we go. Right, this new ProRes range is based on a camera by this company Viofo, and they make this lovely little camera called a Git 2. Okay, let's get that page up. Right, so it's the Git 2 camera, which has a 4K resolution. Now, there's another video, an introduction to the whole range, that points out something a gentleman called Philip Clem pointed out to me. That actually the sensor on the camera is not a true 4K. Go and watch that video. Okay, it explains it in detail and it shows you the facts and the figures. The actual sensor is given about 15% less resolution than the 4K. Now we're talking about the camera resolution of 4K. But I'm hoping by the end of this you're going to see that the resolution, the combined resolution of this is so massive. Who cares that it's a little bit under? Because I get 9.5, 10K resolution. So if you scale it back down to get back to the size the sensor's actually giving, you get 8K. There you go. So go and watch that video because I want you to be aware of the details of the camera. Now, the new Xiaomi Yi 2, which is coming, has a true 4K sensor, like the absolute top of the range GoPro Hero 4 Black Dog's Nuts edition that also has a true 4K sensor. In fact, I think it's the same sensor and processor as on the new Xiaomi Yi, but that's £400 a camera. Okay. The Xiaomi 2 is looking at the moment at £210 for the camera. So now this rig you're going to look at the moment, I'm going to show you in a second when I shut up about this bit. This rig is coming in at £900, complete with the cameras. Okay, it doesn't include the colour software, obviously, but the cameras are about £900. Now with the Xiaomi, if the price stays the same, the Xiaomi will come in at about £1,500. And something similar on the GoPro Hero 4 Top Edition version is something like $2,500. Sorry, hang on a second. So, £900 for the Git 2 for what I'm going to show you now. For the Xiaomi 2, we will be doing a version of that, but it's probably going to be like £1,400. Something that's going to go up quite a lot because it's twice the price. It might be more than that. A GoPro version, just double it, right? Just double whatever it is. Quadruple the value of this. It's stupid money, right? So this is still heavily good value for money. And so whilst I want you to watch and be clear about the resolution of the sensor, let's go by the output, shall we? Which is the important thing. So moving on from that. Okay, let's get back to the really interesting stuff. So basically what you're getting. Let me make this full screen so you can see on the screen here. And just so you know, I do have also, I also have a comparison chart on my site, and if you scroll this down you can see the comparison between all the rigs and all the details you need to know. So I urge you to go and have a look at that. Okay, well, let's go and have a look at the Brahma7. Right, so this is the rig you're going to get, but it's in this box. Now actually this is how it's going to come. So it's £899. The Brahma6 is $799. This is £899 shipped, plus shipping, which around the world it's about 35-ish pounds, and this is Brazil. Unfortunately Brazil was 60 quid. It's expensive, Brazil, because I've got to know someone wants to buy one. It's quite expensive to Brazil. But yeah, so this is this is what you're going to get. Now let me go full screen on this because I want to show you. I want to open this up so you can see what you get. We're trying to go for, now it says EOS and it says Canon. Okay, This is a sample I've got now to add all in on it. I have got some another. I've got this coming without the branding on it. However, for speed reasons, if it might take a little while to get them actually run on stream, so you might end up getting it with Canon on it. Okay, and if you don't, if that upsets you, I do apologise. I can always send you the new ones when they come. Okay, or maybe not if it's abroad. But anyway, so if you don't, it's unlikely you will get this on it. Okay, but I don't see a big problem. It's just people go, oh, Canon. Oh. So it should come without branding. Anyway, let's open this up. So basically, what we've got here is we've got a really nice bag, and this is the same bag. And I'm going for a theme. Now, all of our rigs are red. Okay. Now, if you don't like the red, I can't do anything about the bag because the bag's all the same. But if you want the other one of the other colours, it will delay the process of getting it to you. Okay. But we can do any of the other colours. Now, what I'm standardising on is red is for us to ship. So when we see them in the field, we'll know that more than likely we built them rigs, and it's one of the ones and we know they were a full customer. It's just a way of doing this. So basically, here's your kit. Okay, now, so what you're going to get is you're going to get obviously a whole ton of cables, right? Now, a cable comes with every single camera. Now, you might not, because we're going to package this. I'm also including the Git 2 boxes. Okay, so if when you want to move, say you want to move on, and you maybe want to sell the camera separately, I'll give you the boxes, and then you can sell them in the boxes. Who knows? Just because otherwise I'll just throw them in the bin, and then we just go packaging. So here's your strap. Actually, it's an unboxing video. And this little bag here, okay, it's a waterproof bag, and you wrap it over there. So if you're out in the rain, it just keeps the thing nice and right. Most important thing of all, the rig. Right, let's put that over there, out of the way. Here's the rig. Now, firstly, this piece on the bottom, this little square piece, doesn't come with it. That's actually the bit that mounts onto my camera. As you've probably seen these on a ball roller, ones that one I use. But that screws on there. Now, what this piece, this metal round piece, does come with it, and it's bolted on. Now we're going to be Loctiting that on. So if you want it to be tight, we try to make it really tight. If it comes loose, just do it back up again. There's you probably can't see it, but inside there is an Allen bolt. Okay, it just does it up. But as you see, I've screwed that on, so that gives you standard mounting fix. This is standard camera mounting fix, so you can put it on there. So that is the rig. And so now the key thing with this, compared to all the other rigs, okay, the key thing is the new range, they're clip-on. The cameras literally just clip on. So it's quite tricky to use on camera actually. But if I put my finger underneath there, I'm behind it, and I just bend that slightly, and then bend that out. You get used to doing this, okay? First time you do this, these are very strong. Pop that off, right? These clips are really strong, and I haven't broken one yet, but I'm sure I don't want anyone to come back. Oh, look. You know, don't. I'm quite happy. I'll take this out, throw it around the room. These are very, very strong, okay? And flexible. That's why, you know, strong and flexible. So as you can see, so they all literally clip on. And so if I want to pop this back on, I just push that down, just bend it a bit, line it up, get it square, pop it in, and push it in the middle just to make sure it's located properly. That's it. You know, okay, nice and strong. So this rig is I really like this rig. I mean, the Brahma7 is a very good rig, but I like vertical stitches. Okay, so I really do like this one, but it's up to you. Now, some people have asked. No, what am I going to say? So, some people have said, well, which one should I get? Now, the Cube is a general purpose, does everything. Full sphere, okay, massive resolution. This gives you I think this would be good for studios. Okay, so vertical, because the vertical seam's actually really nice. So if you're doing studio stuff, I think this is best. But do remember, and very important, you have a nadir at the base. And I'm going to show you a video. I'm going to actually go and create this. At the end of this, I'm going to show you how it works. So you have a nadir at the base, okay, And it's not very big, because if you see they're angled downwards, I don't know if you can tell from that. See, yes you can, they're angled like that. So that reduces the size of the nadir, but you still have. Now I like that in some occasions, because it allows you to put an avatar. If you look at any jaunt videos, it says jaunt, but it's a good thing for, like, if you're on a network channel, you can put your network logo down there, right? And I'm going to show you how to do this, but so that's good. Now, getting back to the point I was going to make was, put it over there. Some people say, well, which one should I buy? Now, if you're on a budget and you need something that does everything, I would suggest possibly go for the, well, if you're on an absolute budget, just get the old original Xiaomi Brahma7, right? Get 400 quid. But if you're at this level, I don't think you're really necessarily on a budget. You're not quite as tight on a budget. So get yourself the Brahma7 if you want the budget. Just drop the budget word. To the 6 will do everything. Yeah, be fine. Right. However, what I do recommend to people, and I said, well, look, if you want to cover all bases, buy this, and we will also supply you with the 6 rig as well, for obviously extra cost, okay, for an extra £150, and that's not the cost if it goes up on the site, but we'll do it for another £150. You can have the Brahma6 rig, so you can have 7 cameras and 2 rigs, and you can have a 6-way one and a 7-way one, depending on what your use for that time is, or just choose one. Also, if you want to experiment as well, you can put this upside down, okay, or hang it upside down. I've put the mounting holes at both, so that that covers quite a few. But I mean, I see this as being a rig like that on a pole. Brilliant. Okay, it does a great job. The only thing with the Get 2 range at the moment is that our software is not going to work with it. Now, you buy it on the basis that the software is not going to work with it. Unfortunately, I've got to be strong about it. You're buying this on the basis that you're not getting any software for it, and it is it's back to the old days. You're turning them all on manually, you've got the sync issues. So this is aimed at the ProRes. However, and this is not a promise, please, this is not a promise, don't throw this back at me, because this is why I'm stressing, it's a manual system. But they've told me they're working on the changes I've requested to make this so our software will work with it, and then we can do all the stuff you've seen our software do with the Xiaomi's, we'll be able to do this. But I have to tell you now, I can't promise that, because it's not in my hands. The software is being worked on, but my software, but I don't know whether it's going to be whether their cameras are going to support it. And that goes the same for any other camera you want to buy. But I have good faith in these guys, that they are quite nice, but I can't promise it. I mean, it's out of my control. Anyway, moving on. So there's the rig. I suppose now what we want to do is see what it's capable of doing. So a couple of quick clips. I'm just going to show you. So my voice went up in the air. This clip here was one I showed. It's on my YouTube channel now, and this is, if you can see in the title, it's a true 4096 by 2048 at 30 frames a second. This was done with the 1440p mode at 30 frames a second. The output I was working with was over 6,000. Now, if you watch the Brahma6 ProRes video, you would have seen, and this will do the same. If you do it the 2880 by 2160, which is 24 frames per second, but it gives you 9,500 resolution, this rig, same as the other one. But I think for near future, I think we should be concentrating on the 6K. So run these at 1440 at 30 frames a second. Okay, it's actually quite important if you've got one of the duets. Okay, I'm taking the camera off actually, but if you've got one of the duets, it's actually very important. Because it gives 4K, that you have to do 2880. Anyway, I think so. I'm waffling on again, aren't I? So let me put this full screen, and you can see this is the Brahma7. Again, I don't do any fancy stitching work on this, so you can see the stitching is. You can probably spot the stitching, but you'll notice it's vertical. In fact, I'll point the stitching. Can you see there and there, slightly out? Right, it's like, but it's vertical, so you don't actually notice it. So when people go and buy, if you watch some of my old Brahma7 with the Xiaomi's, when you walk by, you hardly notice it, and it's very, very good. So I actually like this, especially for studio settings, that kind of thing. I mean, well, whatever. I mean, it just gives a really nice result. The key thing is the resolution. I mean, this resolution of this is 4K. You can't actually see the 4K bit Well, if I go like that, you can see 4K there. All right, 4K there. But so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk you through. We're going to go and show you how to create this now. Again, so let's shut that down. Okay, let's shut it down. Let's load up Auto Pano. Now, I'm going to. I've already done this before, and I've created this video and loaded it, but I want you to see the actual resolution that this actually comes in with. So I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do the audio stitching. So I'm not worried about the stitching. I'm not going to render this or anything. I'm just going to drop these files in and let you see. So here's a sample of what this little baby can do. Okay. Now, the video modes I'm using for this, I used, unlike the other video which I was doing the 4K version, I'm using 1440 resolution at 30 frames a second for this. So if you can see I'm in my ProRes. Now, as you can see, I've already done this, but I'm just going to duplicate this so you can see how this works. And I'm actually going to do the whole process and put on a nadir so you can see the whole process from start to finish. If I drop the 7 videos into here. Now, as I said last time when I was doing this, color software is fantastic, but it's not bulletproof software, okay? But it is a fantastic. The output, you just have to work with it, and it's good. So I'm not going to render this because it crashes. And I use XSplit Broadcaster, and Auto Pano will, if I start rendering, will just literally pull it down. The other important thing to bear in mind is and if I get time, I probably won't, but I might put about you need 16 gig of RAM and a monster computer to even think about doing this stuff. My machine's really powerful. I've got a dual 780 graphics card, GTX graphics cards, and I had 8 gig of RAM, and I've got a really good AMD CPU in it. As soon as I started doing this, it crashed. It just crashed every single time. In fact, one time it crashed so bad, wiped out the driver. And I checked and I found out what it was. That's the graphics driver. I've never seen that happen before. So, and that was colour. That was the software did that. I'll just point the blame. But yeah, it was filling up the memory, just filled the memory right up, and it went way over committing, and it just blew up. It didn't go, I've run out of memory, I'll stop now. It didn't. It just carried on, crash every single time. 16 gigabytes of RAM. You must have 16 gigabytes of RAM if you're going to even think of working with this beast, right? Or any of the ProRes range. You get away with it with Duet, to be fair. You'll be fine with that. The Xiaomi rigs, or the Xiaomi 1 rigs, no problem, 8 gig of RAM, you're fine. Just one, right? Anyway, so look, here we go. Right, so I've got my 6 in it. I'm just going to grab a section and I'm going to stitch. I'm not going to bother with the audio stitching. The audio sync on this. As you know, it's a bit of a process. Now, normally, I used to use the GoPro Hero 3.4 or the GoPro Hero 3 stitch setting. And I do that on the Xiaomi, the original ones. And it works every single time and it works beautifully. But as I've mentioned on another couple of videos, I had a bit of a fright with this when the rigs arrived and I built this, and I did the stitching, and because I said at the time I'll ignore the stitching, it'll be fine, because you know I said we haven't shipped any of these yet, so it'll be fine. That one we sort it out. What I hadn't realised was it was buggered. I mean, they were twisted in, and it was just, oh god, it was horrible. And if I was to stitch this now, it would just look rubbish. It would all be all off, and it's just not right. So anyway, I nearly gave up, and I went to bed overnight. I woke up the next day, and I thought about it. Genius, because there's a focal length setting in here. If you do lens model, stitch, put the focal length equivalent in. Now, I did actually do this because I did some research. I'm not stupid. I went to the site and I looked at it, but they were saying their focal length is 3.5 millimeters. And now, I'm not the brightest person in the world, but okay, I'll try. But it was rubbish. It just was all over the place. So I did some research and I looked on the GoPro site and see what they were doing. And I experimented and I went from 11, 10, 12, 13, and I got up to 14.5. If you go above it, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't make any difference. Got to 14.5, seemed to be firm. So you need to do this, a 14.5 fisheye, okay? And then when you do that, now this worked last time with the other video, so it should be okay. But the one thing you'll find is, as I said, it's playing okay. So I'm not rendering because rendering will crash. Because you can, what's happening now is I'm using color, which is using my GPU, but I'm using XSplit Broadcaster, which is heavily using my GPU. So Broadcaster works quite friendly with it, but oh look, hang on, you may experience performance issues now. Color just, there we go. Let me just high CPU usage, right? Okay, so that anyway, we'll be careful with this because I don't want to break it. So it's not. So I'm not going to render this, but anyway, so it's eventually it should hopefully redo itself. There you go. Now we are dealing with. Now you see this hole at the bottom. There's a nadir. This whole thing with a nadir. But if I double click on that now, and I can show you, and if I straighten that, just basically straighten that, I moan about colour, the software, but I love it. It is amazing, right? And even though people may know I'm working on my own software, it's a different kind of software. This is rocket science stuff. It's like like PT GUI, and there's video stitching and that kind of thing. But I love this software. It is really clever, and I don't use. I use a small amount what it's capable of. Right, so there's the there's changes I've done. So yeah, so we've got that. So you see that's pretty much stitched in beautifully. Press apply. Now that's fine. So you can see it's just done that straight out of the box. Now that's because you see I've got this thing with no camera at the base, and it's got the nadir. And it's a very specific kind of usage for this. But I'm gonna add a nadir. Now again, I'm hoping this isn't gonna crash me while I'm doing it because I haven't tested this with the thing. So I'm gonna click edit. Right, and in its own time, now what it's doing is now open up a product called AVP Giga, okay, which is the actual guts of the system, which is actually the clever bit doing all the stitching. The other bit is just the video work, and I'm just going to open this up now, and you can see that's popped in there now, and you can see my stitch. Now I need to add a patch to fill in all that blank stuff at the bottom, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go down. I have done this tutorial before. I'm going to do it again. So if you go down to the bottom here, you can see my mouse pointer there. So if I click on this, I'm going to add a folder, and I'm going to rename it patch. Now this is the tutorial they do on the site. Again, I'm really sorry about the sound. I'm having real problems with my mic. I'm going to probably have to buy a new one, but I didn't want to delay doing this. Right, so now I've actually already got one here, one Brahma7 PNG, okay, which was done by my friend Tony, and you can see that drops that into there. If I open this down there, you can see my patches here. So if I select that, now I need to move that around. So if you look up here, see this icon I'm flashing over here, click on that, and I want to click on the picture, and I want to work with that patch. Now you see I'm now dragging it down, okay, to about there. Right, so I need to get that about square. Now it's way too big for what I need, so I'm going to scale it as well. Okay, here we go. I'm going to scale this as well. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm pointing at the thing. Right, if you remember that alpha channel bit at the bottom, I just want to cover it up so it covers that up. Now I'm going to go over a little bit more because yeah, I'll tell you what, this is not the final one. I'm just going to do that. Okay, I'm going to cover all that. So, do I want to do this? Yeah, let's leave it like that. Otherwise, because I'll spend too much time. You want to cover up that bit of the base. Now, I've got that there. This is very rough and ready. I'm just going to save this. Okay, and I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this, and I'll come back. Now, can you see this patch? If I double click on here, can you see this patch is now overlaid onto it? And I can still do this and twist it. The idea is to cover up the blank stuff at the base. Okay. Now it looks like it's an awful lot there, but actually, when you're looking straight out, if you put your eyes down, you won't see it. If you turn your head down, you will see it. So you'll have to you have to look down to see it. But just looking normally, your normal field of vision, like normally you don't look right up to the top of the sky. It's like you don't look down. So actually, you don't even notice it. That's why we angled it so you don't notice it too much. But anyway, it's there now. Okay, got that there. And of course, the other thing you could do is it doesn't have to be an advertising banner. What I tell people is you can go across wherever you put in the camera. Before you put the camera, take a photo of the ground and put the photo in there. 360. Yeah. and you still get the benefit of the vertical seams. So that's basically it. So what we've got there is we've got, now if I'm not going to render this, but if I wanted to render this, if I click on the render panel, now can you see the output? Now that's the suggested output for the resolution. Remember, we're doing this with 7 cameras, and it's I had this in 1440p mode, 30 frames a second. So I would then set this to 30 frames a second. Okay, 30 frames a second. Oh, and I would obviously set this to cinema mode. The maximum it can do is 4096, 2048. I don't, with AutoPan, it doesn't come with these extra drivers. Now, I will be doing a tutorial later on when I figure it out, what you need to do a high resolution and then outload as a high resolution, but then you've got the problem of people playing it, sorry. But what you do get is you get amazing quality in a 4K. You've taken this huge great thing, squished it down. It's like when you buy some of the later Blu-ray movies, which are not the 4K ones, but the Blu-ray ones, which are 1080p and they've downscaled from 4K source, and they look much better. It's that. So you get amazing 4K quality because your quality is starting bringing it from really high down. But in the future you'll be able to do it, and this same camera will be able to do 6K. Now I could have done these 2080 by 2160 and 24 frames per second, and I would have got, like the other one, I would have got about 9,500 by 4,500. Yeah, but this is a good example to see. Now, I'm not going to render this, but I'm going to show you a sample of this. So if I close this down now, no, I don't want to save changes. And if I go into the video, this is the one that's actually uploaded. So
okay, this is
the full
the Brahma7 ProRes. This is using the GIT2 cameras. I'm calling them ProRes because...
Sorry, bear with me. Let me shut him up because it is a bit loud. So you can see the quality. This is downscaled quite a lot. I mean, even though but this is a 4K resolution. So if you look at the YouTube, this is a true 4K output. This is cinema, 4K cinema. Which is not much higher, but it does actually make a little bit of difference, and it just to give the best quality output you can get. This rig is going to give you the best 4K output, and it will do 6K output, and it will also do 8K output. Now the 8K will only be at 24 frames per second. Now later rigs, we will be doing the Xiaomi Yi, the Xiaomi Yi 2. Which does 4K but at 30 frames a second, true 4K, and it will do 8K output. Like this would do it, but this is in 24. The Xiaomi Yi will do true 8K at, and I haven't tested, but I just know it will. It will do 8K, over 8K at 30 frames per second. To be honest, and this is the usual thing, I don't not buy it because of it, but I've been told that the GIT2s are going to do a GIT3, but it's a bit of a way down the road, and that will be using the true 4K sensor again. It'll be 30 frames per second, but there's not much difference, to be fair. For you guys, I think my personal opinion is for the next 2 or 3 years, the 1440p at 30 frames a second is going to be just good enough for. And anyone who says, oh, but I want 60 frames per second, sorry, the heroes go, even heroes. 60 frames a second, 4K, yeah, 4K output, but you won't get 8K because they can't do it. They can only do 25 or 30 frames per second 4K camera mode. So yeah, you're just not going to get it. But yeah, so I think this is a lovely little rig. I'm really pleased with it. I hope you are. And if you've got any more questions, as I said, come in. Now, remember this one is $899. When we ship it, this is an $899 rig. Bear in mind, if you want the extra holder, 6-way as well, just add £150 onto that. But just get in touch with us, and then we'll tell you what you need. Shipping's around around £35. Yeah, so this in dollars. If we were exporting this in dollars, it's about $1,100-1,200, something like that, for this rig. I'm very pleased with this. Hope you are too. And that's it really. I've waffled on long enough. Taking your time. Do apologise. Speak to you soon.